Hello students, today we are going to study E.V.S-2, Chapter 2, History and the Concept of Time. In this part 2, we are going to study historical periods and scientific method of measuring time and establishing age. Historical periods. We learned in the first lesson that history is a science that tells us about the events that has happened in the past. Students, we also have learned that every bygone moment makes up the past. The past is the subject matter of history. So, in short, the period of history goes back to the time of the birth of our solar system. Our solar system came into being about 4.5 billion years ago. Our Earth is a planet in the solar system. So, it is presumed that the Earth was also formed 4.5 billion years ago. The span of 4.5 billion years since the Earth's formation is a vast period of time. It is not easy to grasp this entire period all at once. It is necessary to divide it into a number of stages in order to understand it better. Therefore, the time in history is divided into two main periods: prehistoric period and historic period. In prehistoric period, it simply means before history. The prehistoric period is the period for which no written record are available by which to write its history. Historic period. The historic period is a period for which written records are available using which we can write history. Scientific methods of measuring time and establishing date, which means dating. We are actually measuring time when we talk about today's date or a day of the week, etc. We have seen that there are various methods of measuring time. These methods allow us to identify a particular day, month or year with respect to an earlier or later day, month or year. So students, if it is June, then we know that the earlier month was May, and the next one will be July. Also, if today it is 10th of June, then we can tell that tomorrow will be 11th of June and yesterday was 9th of June. Thus, when we measure time, we actually measure its length. The events before the beginning of the Common Era are mentioned as having occurred before the Common Era. Information about some of these events can only be obtained with the help of evidence buried under the ground. This evidence is usually in the form of broken man-made artifacts and fallen structures. With the help of these remains and using scientific methods, we can determine the time of the events that took place thousands of years ago. There are many layers of soil deposited one above the other under the surface of the ground. The period of these layers and of the remains found in them cannot be stated definitely in terms of date. However, a rough estimate of how many years ago they existed can certainly be made using scientific methods such as carbon-14 analysis, tree ring analysis, which means dendrochronology. These methods are known as dating techniques. By using these dating techniques, we learn how old the layers of soil and the remains found in them are. Then we can determine their period approximately. For example, if an earthen pot is estimated to be 5,000 years old, with the help of dating techniques, we can say that the earthen pot dates back roughly to 3000 BC. Then we can conclude that the period of the culture to which the pot belongs must be around 3000 BC. So students, it is possible to decide the age of ancient objects up to 60,000 years old with the help of carbon-14 method. This method was invented by the scientist Willard Libby. Dating method. Carbon-14 is a radioactive element that is found in the bodies of all living organisms. After the death of an organism, the carbon-14 in the body begins to decrease. When pieces of wood charcoal, bone, fossils, etc. from the prehistoric periods are found, it is possible to measure the remaining C14 in the laboratory. By measuring the remaining C14 in the object, we learn how old that object is. This scientific method of determining the approximate age of an object is known as C14 dating method. There are a few other dating methods, but the C14 dating method is the one most frequently used. Once the age of an ancient object is determined with the help of this and other dating methods, it is possible to determine the period of the culture to which these objects belong. As the tree grows in height, the trunk also grows in girth. Girth means a circumference of the tree. A new ring appears for every year of the growth of the girth. The rings can be seen when the tree is cut. If you count the rings, we come to know the age of the tree. This can also be used to determine the age of a wooden artifact. This method is known as the tree ring method, also known as dendrochronology. So students, I hope you all have understood and enjoyed this lesson. Thank you.